It's Joe from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, selling you the best bullion bars and coins, shipped to you worldwide from Melbourne in Australia. This is your weekly precious metals price analysis where we take a look at the big four: gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. Of course, head over to youtube.com/bullionnow, join the winning team. Why don't you do it? Hit the big red subscribe button right here. 8,430 something subscribers. We just finished our Black Friday to Cyber Monday sale. Very, very popular. The items went very, very quickly, but a lot of people got their hands on some really great deals. So hit the subscribe button for, more deals coming over the next weeks and months. Of course, our educational videos, our price analyses, our epic unboxings, which are very popular, and other awesome stuff. Okay. You may notice something a little bit different here. I don't have all my lines drawn in. I got rid of them. We're going to take a look at gold, silver, platinum, and palladium a little bit more on a macro scale. We're going to zoom out today. We will take a quick look at where we came from in the last 7 days, but I just want to pull out a little bit, zoom out and see where we, if we're going lower from here, where the next, lines in the sand would be for me. So let's take a look. And of course, nothing of what I say is financial advice. Of course, it's all just my own personal opinion. So last 7 days in gold, and this is in USD, priced in US dollars, and it's using the tradingview.com website. We have seen in the last 7 days, or 7, 8, 9 days roughly, that breakthrough 1850. And you will remember, if you've been watching these videos previously, I had my couple of lines drawn in between the range of 1800 to 1750. Those two horizontal blue lines were drawn in there. We saw a touch of 1800. It became a quick level of support. It was a failed move to break higher again. So oftentimes from a failed move comes a fast move in the opposite direction. Not always, but often. And you broke down to 1,775 roughly. So we're definitely under the $1,800 range at the moment. Let's move out onto the monthly and talk about if we were moving lower from here. If we were moving lower from here, I'm definitely not saying that we are. Because look, it's only $25 underneath this big support level of 1800. Is that enough? Is a $25 move down to 1775? Is that enough of a move below there? When you take a look at it on the big macro scale on the monthly time frame, is it enough to say, oh, that's definitely taken out, we're definitely heading lower from here? I don't think so. Not on the macro time scale, not on the monthly time scale, because just look at that, it's just a tiny little blip between 1775 and 1800. But if we are moving down lower from here, where's the next big line in the sand from me? So what we need to do is take a look at key levels of resistance and key levels of support that have hit multiple times. So basically what you can do is you can take this horizontal line tool. If you're using TradingView, take this horizontal line tool, or even just the crosshair tool, and just go down and look over a period of time where some prices intersect with the line. So we've got, obviously that's that 1800 right there. It was a couple levels of resistance. It was a big level of resistance there back in September of 2012. Then we had that move all the way down to 1050, back up to 2075, and now we're back here. If this is not a level of support, let's just go down. Let's see. Okay, what's this right here? You've got that. That's at about 1700. Doesn't really match up with anything over here. So let's keep going down further. I would maybe there at what, 16? Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that. We've got, see this key level right here. That's around about, what's April 2013. That was at about 1600. It doesn't really match up with much on this side, except maybe right here. Let's go with this one. That's a big one right there. You can see that, and it does tend to match up when you look over here. 1, 2, 3, 4-ish roughly. For me personally, that's a big line in the sand. I don't think it would go lower than this, so I'm going to pop it in round about here. Technically it's somewhere between 1530 to about 1560 roughly, but we'll just put it in the middle. Let's call it about 1550 just to be safe. Right there, I think, around about there. Close enough for jazz. let's say about that 1550 level. And actually, if we go up, yeah, I'm going to say 1560. Not 1550, I'll call it 1560. That is a big line in the sand for me. Can you see where they intersect right there? So I am 100% not saying we are definitely going to head down to 1560. But it's a line in the sand for me, a big one. If we were to move down in the next couple of months, again, this is on the monthly time frame, so each candle is 1 month. It would take at least a couple of months to get down. That would be the big one for me. 1560 in US dollar terms. So $1,560. Big one for me. I don't see any other major ones moving higher from there. Maybe if I pop in here, maybe this one as I showed you just before, maybe that $1,600 mark. Maybe. So I'm going to say as a range of between $1,560 to $1,600 would be a massive buying opportunity, you know, and maybe now is a massive buying opportunity for sure. I mean, we're at a major support level here of, or previous resistance, I should say, $1,800. This could be it. You never know, and I'm not a soothsayer. But if we're moving down, big line in the sand right there between 1,600 and 1,560. Shall we talk about moving higher? I won't talk about moving higher just yet until we've seen some kind of, you know, definite reversal in the price, in the trend at the moment. We're obviously in a huge bull market trend. Definitely still in a bull market. At the moment, that would be if we broke down below 1560, 1550, then I'd be saying, uh-oh, that's not looking good. But how many times can I say the level? Between 1560 to 1600 is my next target if we're moving lower. So that's gold. I won't do the higher prices in gold, and I won't do gold in Australian dollars. I'm going to keep that for a while, I think, that those horizontal lines. Let's take a look at silver. Silver on the daily time frame. We have seen, I was talking about a level, I think it was 2370 last time was the line in the sand for me. I think I mentioned that. We certainly saw that in the last week or so, breaking down through 2370. We saw that, and I think I was talking about a target of around about, we haven't hit it yet, but I think it was around about 1970 where I think we may potentially go down to. So we've yet to hit that. Let's pop out back to the monthly. On the relative strength index, we're starting to trend downwards, starting to trend towards oversold, but we're not there yet. And taking a look at it on the monthly time frame and the big macro zoom out, looks like there is room to move down. Now, let's say for sure that we would want to break down below 2170, the previous little low right there in the last few months. That was in the month of September this year. You'd want to break down below 2170, of course. Where would be the next level, the next key level moving down? Now, I'm going to do this one. This one's on the fly, so let's do it all. Let's do it together. You can do it with me. Let's do it together. You've got a level here, and that's almost taken out. So that level here, as you can see, about 2140. You can see that was a big previous level of resistance here back in February of 2008, a big level of resistance in July of 2016, but it's also recently just hit. So it does need to be taken out. And we came down to 2170. It's not much of a jump down to 2140. I don't think if we were to, I don't think that's again, I'm doing this on the fly, that's why you're hearing me umming and ahhing. I'll put that line in for now, but if we're going to break down further, look, I'll leave that as a line in the sand, 2140. Let's leave that there for now because it is a big level of previous resistance, roughly 2140, something like that. Let me just see if I can move that up a little bit higher. Again, we're on the monthly time. There we go, right there. Perfect. 2140 in US dollar terms, but it's so close to this previous level back in September that it's more likely to shoot lower, in my opinion, not financial advice. Let's take a look at the next level, next big level, moving down. Would it be here at 1970? I don't think so. There's a little bit of a level there. There is a level there. I don't think that's a larger one. Let's see if we can find anywhere else. Actually, it could be that 1970 level. I think 13 is way too low. That's looking more like it for me personally. Can you see that right here? Don't know if you can see it, but look at this big level of support right here at around about your $18.70 level. It was a level here. We broke down to about $18 roughly. A level here, what's that, $18.80. Another one around about the $18.80, $18.70 kind of level. And I think, and that kind of coincides with this little level here. I'm going to say, right for me, right there, around about here. Let's call it $18.80 roughly. That would be the next level, the line in the sand for me. That would be the next level if we broke down through 2140 of about $18.80 in US dollar terms. So 18.80 is the low point for me if in the next couple of months we are seeing lower prices. Again, definitely not saying this is what's going to happen, just an if at this stage. 1880 is the point for me. If we broke down through 1880, then I'd be saying it's not looking so good for silver. 1880 line in the sand, and let's keep an eye on the 2140, but I think that would be taken out quite quickly if we came down to it. So I will keep that horizontal line in for the moment, but I'm going to say a low of 1880. That is on the macro view of silver. And of course, we will talk higher prices once we see this trend reverse, which I think we will, obviously, at some point. We are going to see, in my opinion, higher prices in both gold and silver in the next coming, 6 months, a year, etc. But, you have a peak and then you have a trough and then you have a peak, etc. So that's actually quite healthy movement. I would say anything lower than 1880 is starting to look unhealthy. So anything down to there that's a healthy retracement in my opinion, particularly because we came from, what's that, $11.50 only back in March. So I think that's my prognosis on gold and silver. Let's have a look at what's that? That's palladium. Let's look at platinum. Platinum's doing great guns. Look at this, looking very good on the monthly time frame. I won't show the weekly for now. We'll just show the monthly. It's looking pretty good, and I will quickly show you palladium. It's looking both good at the moment in platinum and palladium. Quite seemingly the opposite for gold and silver, or being the opposite to gold and silver. Something's telling me, and I can't read minds and I don't know what else is going on with the world, but something tells me it's that big players, and I'm talking the really big players, are swapping out of gold and silver currently into the other two big precious metals, platinum and palladium. Seems like a bit of a cycle going on. See that? The opposite prices, the opposite price movements, I should say. So something's going on there. Maybe people are just feeling a bit more confident in platinum and palladium recently. But let's take a look at platinum. In the last month, at the start of the month, start of November, we've seen a move all the way from $840 all the way up to $970 US dollars. That is. So instead of looking at the targets moving lower, we're going to do the targets moving higher using the same principle. So let's use the horizontal line. Where are the next lines in the sand? Now I had previously had them drawn in, I believe, but let's just take a look at the next big ones again on the macro time frame. So I would suggest, where are we? That's that 1,050 mark. We'll pop that in. Yeah, look, it's around about there. See a level of support there, another level of support right there. I'll say, I want to do the big one. I want to do the big one for you. So what's the next big one? Let me see. So that's, again, as I say, I do this on the fly, so that's why you're going to hear me umming and ahhing and pausing every now and then. I'm going to put it in at, yeah, look, I'll put it in at the 1,050 mark, roughly, right there. So that is a level of resistance, as you can see, level of support there, a little bit of, tiny bit of level of support there. One, let's call that 2, 3, roughly 4 levels of resistance. That was kind of more at the, it was over the $1,000 level. So around about 1,050 will be a slight level of resistance. But again, look, the more times you knock on that door, that'll be 1, 2, close to 3, 4. The 5th time's a charm. If we break through that, it's more likely to break through it very quickly rather than seeing a big level of resistance and heading lower and ranging again for another few months. So more likely we're going to break 1,050 this time around in the next couple of months if we're heading up higher. So let's look at the next level moving higher, with next level of major level of resistance. You can obviously see that here, that big spike right there at the $1,200 level. Does that coincide with anywhere else? Oh, look, it coincides with this one right here. As you can see, that's about 1217. So yeah, let's just put it in at 1200. You can definitely, that's a pretty obvious one. So 1200 level of resistance. Let's just keep it at roughly 1206. Somewhere between 1200 and 1215. $1,200 and $1,215. Next big level of resistance. Moving higher in platinum. And we've got any big larger ones? Maybe, yeah, I would say right here at around about 1380 roughly. If you can see a level of a big spike right there, level of resistance, and got a rough level of support. So around about 1380. Those are my targets moving higher. 1050, 1200 roughly, give or take, $15 roughly, and about 1380. Next big levels moving higher. Next levels of resistance. So that's it for platinum on the macro. Let's look at palladium. Similar again to platinum, looking more bullish at the moment. Again, an inverse to silver and gold. Definitely not saying it's going down, gold and silver, but it's, that's the direction at the moment, it looks like. Let's look at this macro. On the just coming out of, I should say, and we've turned the corner out of oversold territory on the relative strength index. So that's looking quite positive. Let's look at the next levels moving higher, and we'd be looking into all-time high territory. I might need to do a little bit of Fibonacci analysis right here. I might need to put this back in. All right, so we're going to quickly take the old high of, what's that, 1100 something, and then the old low, and this is only going back to what, the 1998, where the prices start on this chart, but we'll just use those because I think I've been using those previously. We will do that, or will I do that one? No, I'll do that one right there, right about there. Okay, so the next levels moving higher for palladium. Again, this is a macro view over the next coming months, and things could very well easily change. Let's have a look. Let me go down there. Okay, so obviously, look, the big one. Obviously, the big one right there. I had been talking about this level previously of, that was a Fibonacci level right there at, it was about $2,680. So the big next level of resistance is between 2,680 and the previous all-time high, which could be a level of resistance at 2,870. So those are my first levels of resistance, a range of between 2,680 and 2,870 in US dollar terms. And let's quickly look, because now we're in haven't been there before territory, my next level, big level of resistance. And again, this is just my own opinion. It's based on Fibonacci analysis between this high and this low. Maybe there's a better Fibonacci high and low to take it from. But based on this high and this low, we went up to the 1.618, we came up close. We went to the 2.6 there, 2,600, that was kind of a close level. The next one here, the 4.236, is around about $4,230 right there. That would be a level of resistance, the big level of resistance, I should say, because once we break through here, we're in no man's land. Haven't been there before territory. Are there any psychological values moving up? Because they're very important. Psychological values, when you've never hit a level before, when you've never broken, when you're in previous no-go territory, never been there before territory, psychological values come into play much more. So let's see, that's 3,000 is only there. I doubt that's going to be much of a psychological value, so probably not. Moving higher, look, 35 is not a huge psychological value. I wouldn't suggest. Maybe 4,000 is a psychological value right there. That's probably it's a round number. We like round numbers. So maybe 4,000 is a psychological value, but what tends to happen is you can tend to have a bit of a spike above a Fibonacci level. You tend to spike above a bit. So that jump between 4,000 and 4,230 isn't huge when you look at it on the macro time frame. Look at that, it's just a tiny little blip. So I'm going to suggest the next big level is going to be somewhere between the psychological value of 4,000 and the Fibonacci level of $4,230. Roughly, you know, we're talking at macro views here, so you know you can be give or take, you know, tens of dollars. So just bear that in mind. If we are moving lower, just very quickly, I will do that in case this is a fake out in Palladium. In case we're moving lower, you'll have obviously this level right here of 2,180, and you've got, that's the next big level. If we were just heading down and down and down, which doesn't look like it at this stage, but if we are heading down, you would have around about, I'd say around about this level of about 1850 would be a next level moving lower, and down from there you'd have that previous all-time high of 1620. Targets moving higher, targets moving lower. The trend seems to be moving higher at this stage. It's looking quite good for Palladium and Platinum. If I was a betting man, I would say that we are probably going to see some lower prices in silver and gold. I know I don't normally say that. I know I normally don't give a bias, but I'm going to be a little bit biased just looking at the macro here. And look, we could absolutely see a trend reversal. You never know. It might happen, but on balance of probability, I will say for this video, looking like lower prices are possibly coming in the next couple of months. I've got my targets moving there. Do not do anything that I say, okay? Do not base trades. Do not buy based on my my non-financial advice, my own personal opinion. Don't base anything on what I say. If the right time for you to buy is now, then buy now, of course, and consider dollar cost averaging. If you're getting into this for the first time, the big question is, do I wait until the perfect time, or do I just average my price down? Or you average as the price goes up, just average your price up. Maybe the best thing to do is to just buy regularly on the same day every month, regardless of what the price is, and then you're just averaging your cost over time. Dollar cost averaging, that's a great way to do it too. So that's it. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I've enjoyed doing a bit more of a macro view. We'll see where the prices go. Of course, I could be utterly wrong. But head over to bullionnow.com.au and hit the big red subscribe button, youtube.com/bullionnow to join the winning team. And we'll see you next week for another price analysis. That's it. Stay safe, and we'll speak to you soon.